blues fans, look like you found us. Welcome to This Week in the Blues, our weekly look at what happened in blues history. I'm your host, Jimbo Big Train Manson, and I'm glad you found us. So let's take a look at what happened this week in the blues. Let's start off with a Delta ghost story about William Casey Bill Weldon, who was possibly born December 10th, 1909. I say possibly because many details of Weldon's life are unconfirmed. He was possibly born in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and later lived and worked in Chicago, Illinois. He was one of the early musicians who recorded playing slide guitar. Playing a national steel guitar flat on his lap, Hawaiian style, he was known as the Hawaiian Guitar Wizard. The original hound dog, Big Mama Thornton, was born December 11th, 1926. She was given her nickname Big Mama by the manager of Harlem's Apollo Theater because of her strong voice, her size, and oversized personality. Thornton stated that she was louder than any microphone and did not want a microphone to ever be as loud as she was. In 1984, she was inducted into the Blues Hall of Fame. Cornelius Green III, who you probably know as Lonesome Sundown, was born December 12th in 1928. His first hit was Leave My Money Alone in the 1950s. And over the next 8 years, Sundown's output included My Home is a Prison, I'm a Mojo Man, I Stood By, I'm a Samplin' Man, and a host of other memorable swamp classics, all of which preceded his 1965 retirement from the blues business to devote his life to the church. It was 1977 before Sundown could be coaxed back into the studio to cut a blues album titled Been Gone Too Long. Blues guitar maestro Wayne Bennett was born December 13, 1931 in Sulphur, Oklahoma. Bennett is renowned for his fretwork with Bobby Blue Bland between the 1950s and the 1980s. He started playing guitar in his teens and performed in local bands. In 1950, he joined Amos Milburn's band and made his first recordings with Milburn in California. In the early 1950s, Bennett moved to Chicago and recorded in the mid-1950s with Otis Rush, Buddy Guy, Jimmy Reed, and Elmore James. In the late 50s, he was picked to join the touring and recording orchestra of Bobby Bland. Well, here's another Delta ghost story for you. This one is about the blues singer and guitarist Garfield Acres. Between 1929 and 1930, he only recorded 4 sides, which are nonetheless historically significant. All the pieces are played fast and stopping for the time, clearly foreshadowing rhythm and blues as well as rock and roll. His most well-known song was his debut, Cottonfield Blues, a duet with friend and longtime collaborator Mississippi Joe Callicott on second guitar. Outside of his recordings, not much is known of Acres' background or his origins. Golden Big Wheeler was born December 15th in 1929. This Chicago blues singer, harp player, and songwriter released 2 albums in his lifetime and is best known for his recordings of the song Damn Good Mojo and Bone Orchard. He was born Golden Wheeler in Baconton, Georgia, and eventually settled in Chicago, Illinois in 1954, where he befriended harmonica player Little Walter. Wheeler fronted his own band in 1956, although he was a part-time musician, working for years as an auto mechanic to supplement his income and provide for his family. Andrew Big Voice Odum was born December 15th in 1936. This Chicago blues singer and songwriter is best known for the close resemblance of his singing style to that of Bobby Bland and B.B. King. Odum was born in Denham Springs, Louisiana, and learned to sing at his family's church. In 1955, he relocated to the St. Louis area and began working with Albert King and Johnny Williams. In 1960, he moved to Chicago, which was his home for the rest of his life, and he became a fixture in the local music scene until his death in 1991. Record producer, civil rights activist, and music critic John Hammond was born December 15th in 1910. In his service as a talent scout, Hammond became one of the most influential figures in the 20th century music scene. He was instrumental in sparking or furthering numerous musical careers, including those of guitarist Charlie Christian, Billie Holiday, Count Basie, Big Joe Turner, Aretha Franklin, George Benson, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and Mike Bloomfield. Hammond is also largely responsible for the revival of Delta blues artist Robert Johnson's music. Billy Gibbons, from ZZ Top fame, was born December 16th in 1949. Born in Houston, Texas, upon discovering Elvis Presley via an appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show, Gibbons became transfixed by rock and roll. He soon discovered Little Richard and bluesman Jimmy Reed via a local radio station. Gibbons began to emulate his heroes, forming his first band when he was 14. He began his career in the band Moving Sidewalks and opened 4 dates for the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Gibbons formed ZZ Top in late 1969, and that little old band from Texas wound up as an enduring American musical institution. Well, blues fans, we just covered some of the highlights here. Now, if you want to know more about these artists or other things that happened this week in the blues, be sure to follow our social media pages or go visit our website at bigtrainblues.com. We'll have a new episode next week, so we'll see you then.